And welcome to Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with the house and not against it. Hello, Derek. Hello, Chuck Science. Welcome in, everyone. Hey, Ken Leo. It is so nice to see you bright and early here with me this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. And by the way, for those of you who are new here, my name is Ariel Calista Miller. I am the author of Sports Betting Illuminated, an AI-powered path to profit, my book, which you could find in bookstores everywhere across online booksellers too, including Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, but of course you could get signed copies on my website at arielcalista.com, and it tells you exactly how I've been able to obtain a 30+%, sometimes 40+% ROI season after season across multiple sports leagues. And that's important because things are changing all of the time. Today I have some hockey picks for you that I can't wait to dive into, a ton of basketball of course, and also baseball is starting, so that's why you see behind me my magical glowing baseball. We always do so well during baseball season that, you know, it's just really exciting. really exciting. So love having more sports, more games to bet on, and more ways to make some money, right? That's what we're all about here. We're about winning and staying profitable. Hello, Super Pro. Also, I want to say big shout out to everyone who is sending in all of the hearts. I see them flying across the screen. It is perfect, and it also is very on brand for my Valentine's Day theme, month of February. You know, just feeling very cute and pink and kind of romantic looking. So I like it, but we have a ton of games and winning picks to dive into today, so I can't wait to dive into those with you. But first, like I always say, we need to sit back, relax, and get our minds right first before we start winning some wagers, right everyone? And on this beautiful Saturday morning, today I am waking and baking with Moneymaker. Why is that? Because we're gonna be winning a lot of money today. Not because I'm gonna be shaking my moneymaker. Well, maybe. Well, cheers, sit back, relax, and get your mind right to win some wager. This is a really strong one. Whoa. Hello, everyone. Wow. Whew. That was a hit. That got me a little hot this morning. Yes, that is me, on the back of my book here. By the way. Hey, Chris, good morning. Oh, no. I went with Moneymaker. We were just talking about that. This is a very strong strain. As you guys could see, this is an indica dominant hybrid. Let me get a little unhigh to say this properly. An indica dominant hybrid. And it really is has earthy flavors, it has spicy flavors,
and also some rich berry notes, which is just kind of perfect for that high roller mindset. And that's what we're getting into today, because we're seeing a lot of plays. There's a lot of stuff to bet on. And oh my God, don't even get me started about how many college basketball games there are today. It is a lot. So, on days like this, these are, moments where you might want to kind of, like reel in your thoughts a little bit and not try to analyze every single game. It's impossible. There's just too much going on today. It is some super fresh money-making stuff. I like Moneymaker a lot. So this is a nice strain. I like trying different things out all the time. I'm going to have some new cannabis products coming in soon. Different types of bongs and things. So I'm going to be trying those out with you on air. I can't wait for them to arrive. Yeah, exactly. 124. I was like, this is just so much work. With 124 games, let's be realistic. Unless you are a machine, which you're not, you're a living, breathing human, hopefully watching this. I mean, I might have a few bots in the audience, I don't know. But the truth is, it's a lot of games to analyze. And trying to do all of the games, if you're looking at all the hockey games, plus all of college basketball, plus all of the NBA, and you're trying to find the angles, and you're trying to analyze all of them, I mean, you're looking at 140 plus games, and then you also have MLB preseason. So it's a lot for any one person to handle. So as you're going into these games and looking at all the line movements today, seeing how the money flows, make sure that you're really just narrowing it down to maybe just a few games that you want to focus on. Maybe it's 5 schools that you really like and that you want to analyze and really put the right time and strategy and energy into, versus looking at all 124 Division I games today. That's impossible. And I've tried doing this, trust me. I mean, I'm talking from experience here. When you look at all of these games, you do not have the best analysis at the end of it, because you just simply don't have the bandwidth to process it all and do the right strategy and put in the right amount of time and effort that you need to make sure that they actually turn out as winners. So today, my biggest advice to all of you going into this is just limit your scope a little bit. Focus on a group of games that you want to play and just pretend all of the other games don't even exist. They're not even on the board. For me, that's really how I like to go about it. For other people, they might want to use an algorithm to determine what games they like. But it's a lot there, so you need to be careful on days like today, or else you'll lose your shirt. Hey, thanks for coming in for Rumble. I appreciate you checking out, making sure everything is still going smoothly over there. Happy Saturday, Brian. So that's my biggest advice to everyone going into today. We want to bet on a lot of things. I get it. You open up the app, the Sportsbook app on your phone, and there's a million things to bet on. There's a million parlays to be played, and don't forget they're offering odds boosts, and this seems easy to hit, and this multi-leg parlay, they're going to give me all this bonus money for free if I just only bet on this 6-leg parlay that the Sportsbook picked out for me. Be careful. Be careful and realize that is not the way to approach professional gambling. If you have money that you want to spend that you don't mind losing, gamble, have a little bit of fun. But if you want to make money over time and have an ROI in a 30 and 40% range, seriously, narrow it down today. Don't look at all 140 plus games or more. It's a lot. It's a lot. Just focus. Focus on what is important to you. Focus on, top 5, maybe 10 games that you really, really want to look at today. Even 15 if you have the bandwidth for it. But seriously, don't overdo it. Do not overdo it. So, good morning, Spencer. It is so nice seeing you here. Oh, yes. You could stay focused on my picks. That's true. My pictures and my picks in the morning report, and that will be going out after the show today. I wanted to see some things develop even more, but on a day like today, it's really when you have to limit yourself and really just focus in on the most important games that actually mean a lot to you, or where you really, where you really feel like you have the time and energy to put into it to analyze it properly. Someone somewhere has won one. Yeah, somewhere. I actually did this. You know how you get those like sportsbook like parlays that they'll just throw at you, like, oh, here's this like 3-leg parlay, here's this 4-leg parlay, odds boost here. I sat down, and I know a lot of people are not going to do this, but I really would encourage everyone, like, if you just have 5 minutes a day, write down, literally write down exactly like the parlays that the sports books are offering you, and look and do it over a series of days and see, like, did any of these hit? I went backwards through my notifications to look at all of the different parlays various sports books have offered me, and I mean, I found that like literally one hit out of like the tons and tons of parlays I was looking at. So I would have lost my shirt, that's for sure. And the sports book, well, they would be quite a bit richer off of me. 132 Division I college basketball games. Okay, I knew it was like around 140, but it's actually over 150 games today. This is why it is so important to just cut out the bulk, remove the fat and the excess, and literally just look at the games that are either important to you or, that you think are very, like where you feel like there are definitely hidden advantages, and don't focus on the rest. Pretend nothing's even going on in the rest of the sports world today. Just focus on the few things so that you can maximize your profits without all of the distraction. That is my like serious key lesson, because there have been days when I'm like, oh, like out of 150 games, like these 20 games look great, and then it turns out I didn't even do like the proper analysis. Like, I end up with a lot more misses than wins on those days, and so sometimes just keeping it small is key. It is key. Now let's dive into some winning games. We smoked some moneymaker, got a little high. Now let's make some money. The first games I'm looking at are in the NHL. I'm really excited to dive into this. All right. First game I'm looking at is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. And I don't do a lot of hockey games, so this is going to be fun. I also have some in the NBA and college basketball today, so of course stay with me. Rangers versus Buffalo at 5:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. I am loving this over. The total opened at over 6 minus 105. Then it moved all the way up to over 6.5 even money, with level 5 money pushing it right now. That's right. I mean, if you were going to take the over 6 at minus 105, of course you're going to take the over 6.5 at even money. And especially when there's level 5 money pushing it too, I could see this potentially moving to over 7 very soon. I would probably hold off a little bit on the over 7. Shop around for the over 6.5. It's sitting at even money right now. I mean, you can't really pass that up. Hockey is finally back. Sports betting Illuminati. I like that. Yeah, I think if there was a sports betting Illuminati, people would probably consider me part of that. Except all my picks are proven. I post timestamps of everything. There's hard evidence of everything that I do and promote and all the picks that I make. We were talking about the over in a Rangers game tonight. Rangers versus Buffalo game. So that's the first pick that I was looking at. And yeah, I mean, I like it over 6.5, but I don't really know right now if I would take it over 7. That seems a little high, but over 6.5 right now at even money. You know, the Vegas Sportsbook is moving this line. You know, level 5 money is on the over. Everything is moving in the right direction here. And in hockey, we see that these lines don't budge as much as they do in other sports like basketball. It's more minimal line movements. So you really have to look for these small tails like the over, moving from 6 to 6.5. So that's why I like this over here. I also like another over as well. And this is in a later game. This is at 7:00 p.m. Eastern. I like the over in the Winnipeg Jets versus Blues game. That's right. It opened up at 5.5 minus 110. And right now it is sitting at over 6 minus 105. But this is another spot where there's level 5 money on the over. So not as great as the last one where you could get even money on the over, but sitting at minus 105, I would still take it hands down. And the level 5 money, another half-point move towards the over by the sportsbook. We see this is all moving in the right direction here. So I like the over in this game as well. So there you have it, everyone. My first 2 plays, 2 overs in hockey today. So now I am about to roll into the 2-minute drill, but stay with me because we have some basketball after this, and I have a lot of plays for you. So let's dive on into the 2-minute drill. It's a little bit of a different one today. So I hope you enjoy it. This came from one of my old betting bites. I was doing these like forever on social media, and then of course my accounts always get banned because I'm a sports gambler and I win and I'm a girl, so yeah. All right, enjoy. Accountability is important for anyone deciding to wager real money consistently on sports or horses. Accountability is important because it implies a willingness to be tracked and judged based on your performance. It also requires a structure to make sure that the results are valid. In other words, your results are real and they are honest. I have accountability here at TikTok because I place my bets in an unchangeable, time-stamped video every day before the specific games I'm betting on begin. You might not see it until later at night, but the video was posted well before the start of any highlighted game, and I have proof of that. The structure is necessary, but you also need a good way to measure your performance. Winning percentages are misleading in that you can have a 60% win rate on heavy favorites and still lose your money. The best way to measure performance is ROI, or return on investment. ROI is used in the financial world to measure the profitability of any investment. To calculate this, you simply take your total money in dollars or units won or lost and divide that into the total money played. For example, say you were plus 30 units on 100 units played. You would divide 30 by 100 and end up with a 30% ROI. If you lost 15 units on 100 units played, you would have an ROI of minus 15. Most professional top sportsbook players in Las Vegas average between 5 to 15% ROI around the year. My goal is always 11 to 22% due to my historical average level of performance. This past NFL season, I had an incredible 32.6 ROI. And this Major League Baseball season with 125 units played, I'm sitting at a 41.2% ROI. This number is likely to fade over the season, but none of us will complain if we have an overall ROI of 30% for the season.
My goal is to hit 50% and stay there through the season. I know it's not practical, but it's fun to shoot for the moon, especially at this level. And here is the truth. 95% of those gamblers who are not specifically accountable to themselves or others are self-reported winners. However, none of them really are. Every casino is full of them. Make them accountable to an ROI and you will never hear from them again. This is so real, guys. So you need to be accountable to an ROI or just quit pretending and play games you can afford for a couple of hours of entertainment. I hope you enjoyed Betting Bite number 5.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, these lessons are still so true, and I preach it all the time. You need to hold yourself accountable to your wagers. If you're not writing them down, you're never becoming a serious handicapper. If you're not keeping track of them, you'll never reach that level. Just plain and simple. Thank you so much, Spencer. It really is just that simple, because I go around a sports book all the time. Everyone loves to declare themselves a winner and, you know, oh, I finally hit this parlay. It was such a big payout. I see people every day, I'm sure you see people every day talking about the big parlays that they just cashed, or, you know, that one game that they bet on that gave them like such a huge return. But ask them to track how much money they've spent over time at the sports books. All of the bets that they put in every day, day in and day out, to get back to that rush of that like one win or that one parlay hit. And you'll see that over time, because they're not keeping track of it, they're losing a ton of money. And keeping track of it, even if you are losing money, allows you, at least in the short term, to understand your strategy and what games you're picking versus what you're not picking, and why you're doing what you do, when you can actually look back and analyze your past history versus just, you know, scrolling through your betting app and being like win, 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 loss, 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 win, win, loss, 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 you know, etc. You know, keeping track of it, having a real ROI, and, you know, writing it down in a spreadsheet is so key. Otherwise, you know, it's great. I want everyone to feel like a winner, but in the sports book, you know, in the professional sports handicapper world, you have to also prove that you're a winner. You can't just feel like you are one. So let's dive into some NBA games. Of course, if you have any questions about that video, feel free to comment in and tell me a little bit about your thoughts. And of course, if you don't want to comment directly in the chat, but you want to write to me personally, all my social media messages, direct messages are open. AriBet702. 702 is the Vegas area code, but also arielcalista.com. I have a contact button, or you could reply to any of my emails. I have my daily report coming out right after this show. Make sure to sign up, but reply to any of these daily report emails and I'll respond back as soon as possible. All you have to do is go to arielcalista.com, click on the button that says Stay in Touch. You'll get my sports news every single day, along with all my line analysis, my picks of the day, pictures of me every day, and it's just a whole lot of fun. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I really wanted to talk about Wemby and, you know, how he's going to be out, and also preventative measures, you know, for people who do experience like blood clots and things like that, where you know, far infrared could help. And I see my saunas going into baseball training camps and training rooms, and, you know, a lot of like athletic rooms, especially at a professional level, have the far infrared saunas from my company, because it really does help. It alleviates so many different conditions as well. Beyond just that far infrared and infrared, I believe, is important for everyone. And there's not a ton of great information online. There's a ton of great studies that have been conducted, don't get me wrong. NASA's been doing studies since like the 60s. I mean, there have literally been studies and studies and studies going on about far infrared for many years. and infrared. But when it comes to online, I'm trying to really help people understand how this could benefit them and how it could even benefit someone like Wemby. Seriously. And I'm glad you're liking the pictures and the emails. Yeah, 20+% chance of it hitting him again in the next 24 months. Yeah, far infrared is 100% critical to him and his health, and yeah, I know my far infrared saunas are not in every single like athletic locker room in the world. I wish they were. In fact, they should be. I mean, because we do have the actual lab results and tests that show just exactly like how our PTC semiconductor chip technology works to produce like the highest quality far infrared and pure far infrared. But a lot of people don't understand it yet. So the right information needs to get out there and go into the right hands. So sometimes even just everyone watching the show, if you know somebody or you yourself are in pain or living with certain conditions, I highly recommend looking up, like infrared or far infrared and whatever ailment is bothering you, and doing your own research online, because that's important too. There's so much good information out there, and also sometimes reading about it for yourself, that's key. That's when you really learn. Alrighty, well, let's dive into the NBA, and I really hope that Spurs get some far infrared saunas into their locker rooms. Let's do it. All right, that's gonna be my goal because I like Wemby. I want him to come back, and I don't like seeing people suffer, especially when they're very high performers. And you have to put a lot of work and effort in to become an athlete at that highest levels and practice and hours and hours and hours of dedication. It just sucks that a condition can really stop you from enjoying the thing that you love. And I don't think anyone should have to live like that. Let's get you the health benefits that you need. All right, now, of course, if anyone wants to know a little bit more about far infrared saunas, I'm actually wearing my far infrared necklace right now. It's the Boba Bay necklace, so a little bit of Boba's charm here, far infrared bracelet as well. Just bringing the benefits of a far infrared sauna with me and carrying them all day long, as it's using my own thermal heat to actually go into the glass and change into far infrared. I know that sounds like a very crazy process, but it's true, and the lab results actually test out perfectly. All right. So, Suns versus Bulls. This is a 5 p.m. Eastern game. And right now, I am looking at the Suns spread. This is pretty interesting because it opened up at -3.5. It pushed out to -5.5, so they're becoming even bigger favorites. And right now, the money is piling on the Suns. There is level 2 money on the Suns right now. Vegas, they've already moved this spread 2 points. There's level 2 money on it, and I expect even more sharp money to be coming in on the Suns later. So right now, I really like this game. Definitely super pro. Far infrared is no joke. Exactly. You have my far infrared necklace. Ken Leo, if you're still here watching a live stream, I know you're going to be getting your bracelet really soon. So I'm excited. I love seeing that far infrared is really starting to take off. And honestly, on the local news here, I like sometimes watching like the local television in the morning, just seeing what's going on in my city, what the weather for today is going to be. They're always talking about far infrared, but they don't understand it really. Like nobody is going up to these news anchors. Like nobody even had like these like spas and health centers and stuff that they're going to is actually telling them like, hey, like even simple things like you don't need to see a light to know that far infrared is working. Like there's no light that's gonna turn on to show you far infrared was working. It's invisible. Or at least, not visible to your naked eye. Like we know microwaves and x-rays and radio signals work, but we can't see them. Far infrared is really the same thing, except this is scientifically proven to be the most beneficial wavelength for the water molecules in your body. So I'm excited for you to receive it, Ken Leo, and it's gonna be cool. You're gonna have a bracelet just like me, except this one's a little crazy, not very manly. All right. So I like the sun spread, and now let's talk about this Hornets Trailblazers game. This is at 10 o'clock p.m. tonight, Eastern time, by the way. And right now, I don't usually look at money lines, but I am liking the Hornets money line. Now, this is interesting. Like I have this within a 3-point basket with my AI model, and watching how this money line moved from plus 185 to plus 157 to plus 160, so it's hanging in there right now on mixed money, even though there was a little bit of, I almost don't even really want to call it a buyback, going from 157 to plus 160 on the money line. I'm not even really going to consider that there. This is on mixed money though, so money is not influencing this money line at all, and I think statistically I have a slight advantage on a Charlotte Hornets money line right now. So getting it at a nice plus money number at plus 160 right now looks really good to me, especially when my AI model is showing me that, there is a real good chance, that they'll probably get a 3-pointer at the end. I mean, of course, this line could fall apart. This is a 10 p.m. game, guys. We have plenty of time. I mean, that's almost, not exactly 12 hours from now, but almost. And, we have plenty of time to see if this line falls apart. And, Super James, I don't know if he's here. He's not here right now. I haven't seen him. But he had a great question for me in the email, and basically it was, when a line falls apart, do you take your bet out or do you stay in it? And, how do you determine if you pull your bet or you just keep your bet locked in and see how it plays out? For me, in this game, specifically looking at this Hornets money line, we have literally almost 12 hours until game time. A little less, of course, but we have almost 12 hours until game time. If it falls apart right before the game, sometimes 30 minutes to 45, maybe even an hour before game time, if this line falls apart, I am not going to pull my bet. That is just simply how these lines act right before game time sometimes. And we see this happening all the time. That's because you suddenly get a whole influx of Joe money coming in. Everyone's locking in their bet at the last minute. But do not panic, because the sharps already locked in their bets a lot earlier. And Vegas is really just scrambling at those last moments to balance the money and really readjust their flow. I don't worry about it then. What I do worry is, 2 hours before the game, 3 hours before the game, even further out than that. If it starts falling apart, then 100% you can pull your bet. I recommend it. So that's what I would say, especially in this Hornets game. Make sure the line doesn't fall apart. But if it falls apart right before the game, hold on to your bet. You don't need to pull it out and take that hit. I know a lot of sportsbooks won't give you a full refund, so just keep that in mind. I need to get caught up on your comments here. I was getting a little passionate about when to pull your money out or when to keep your bet. This is a big plus money play, that's for sure. I'm so glad that you are loving my far infrared check science, and I love seeing how beneficial it is to you. I mean, especially after breaking all of those bones. I mean, that's like unheard of, breaking so many bones. I've broken one bone my entire life. So to actually hear how it's helped you and healed you, I love that. I love seeing you guys as real testimonials about far infrared and the real impacts that it has on your life. For me, as a healthy person, I love wearing the far infrared. It makes me feel better after workout. It makes me feel better before workout or yoga. And you know, but then when I see far infrared on other people who are in pain, like, you could see the relief and the difference, and it's so important. Or even like little Biscuit, I miss her so much. You know, seeing the difference immediately within 24 hours on how she, you know, really was so arthritic and couldn't move. And, you know, a dog's not gonna fake it and tell you, I feel great. All they can do is show you that they feel great. And she really did. So I'm glad you're doing more research on far infrared. And, you know, Ken Leo, I have so much research already written on far infrared, probably even more concise than you'll find out there right now. I read a silly I read a silly claim the other day by another sauna company, and they said our infrared penetrates 9 inches into the body, and it's like, some of these claims are just a little goofy. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have. I guarantee you I've already written about it, and you'll see all of this writing really soon. I've been working on, you know, creating a beautiful new website for the far infrared, and I can't wait for all of you to check it out. It's been a lot of work, a lot of time, but you will learn so much. And I'm creating a course on light therapy so people can really understand it better and understand the ways that infrared and far infrared actually affect your body differently. Infrared really deals with like the proteins, whereas far infrared deals with the water molecules. And that's a huge key difference that a lot of people don't even understand or talk about yet. So feel free to write me. My DMs are always open. I understand that. It's hard to decide like when to pull out of a bet versus when not to pull out of a bet. And sometimes it's like you don't want to, but I also don't want you guys losing your money. That's important to me too. All right, well, I did want to do a fun, quick little cannabis game with you. I have some plays in college basketball that I want to cover right after this. I hope all of you locked in, you know, Charlotte Hornets money line. Maybe not lock it in now, but at least keep your eye on it. Sitting at plus 160, big plus money number, and we love seeing that around here. Alrighty, well, let's get to it. I'm really excited to show you this fun cannabis game that I have. I'm pulling it up right here. Munchie Madness. That's right. Okay, I'm just getting my erase board so I could write down. Are you guys able to see the options here? I know March Madness is right around the corner. We're all going to be building our brackets really soon. I'm so excited about that. No. I find though that like these bracket challenges are not really, like, I gotta admit, I love handicapping, I love betting on sports, but these bracket challenges, they require like quite a bit of just luck. Seriously. Seriously, luck. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but having to analyze all of this, and it's impossible, you know, like, especially the way that I like to go about really analyzing each game and how Vegas is moving. It's hard to do all this in advance, but the thing we don't have to worry about is Munchie Madness. hilarious. All right, so for the first Munchie Madness, are we taking pizza or French fries when you get high? This is a tough one because I feel like pizza is so yummy, but French fries, like especially curly fries, I'm a huge sucker for curly fries, I'm not gonna lie. All right, 2 votes for pizza. Anyone else? Pizza, pizza. Oh, only 1 vote for fries. All right, it looks like pizza is winning the day here. I'm gonna take 1 more hit. Keep commenting if you're here and let me know what you like. All right, so pizza wins as the ultimate munchy food here. I'm gonna just put pizza. All right, now we have another, who is pizza facing off against? I'm not a good drawer. I'm not an art. I can do digital art, but not. Okay, popcorn versus chips. Who's winning here? Is it popcorn or is it chips? This is a tough one. I feel like there's so many different flavors of popcorn, but there's so many different flavors of chips too. Like, they are both so good. Okay, I see 2 for chips, 1 for popcorn. Honestly, I'm gonna take another hit, let all the votes come in. Honestly, I love like making my own popcorn. Chips, another 1 for chips. All right, it looks like chips is the winner. All right, so we have pizza versus chips now. Okay, now let's look at the next one, the next bracket. We have Swedish Fish versus Sour Patch Kids. So these are like the gummies. Oh, another 1 for pizza. Pizza is already locked in here. Swedish Fish. I definitely gotta lie. All right, everyone's coming through with the Sour Patch Kids. Man, I gotta admit, me myself, I'm personally like, I love like stale Swedish Fish, but I've had Swedish Fish like within the past month and they like didn't go stale. Like, what are you guys putting them in them anymore? Why aren't they going stale like they used to? All right, wrap up your answers, everyone. This is some high stuff. We're getting a little, maybe I should be taking a hit after every single bracket, but you know what? It is what it is. All right, wrap this up, everyone. What is the final? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 for Sour Patch Kids, and 1, 2, 3 for Swedish Fish. Come on, guys, somebody has to break the tie here. Somebody has to break the tie. Who has it written in? Is it gonna be Swedish Fish? Or were you just making fun of me, Check Science? And is your vote actually for something else? Popcorn is dry, but I mean, so are chips. I mean, you gotta pick from one or the other, right? Sometimes I love like when I get really high, having like some nice ice water. Oh, you were sour for your vote. Okay. Okay. So 3 Sour Patch, 2 Swedish Fish. It looks like the Sour Patch Kids are winning here. okay. I kind of ran out of room on my board here, but you know what? I'm gonna remake it. Because we still have one more. Cookies or donuts? This is important. Chris already voted for cookies. What do you guys think? Cookies or donuts? Cookies, cookies. All right, we already have 3 votes for cookies. What else is coming through? Oh, 1 vote for donuts. All right, well, waiting for any more votes to come through. I'm gonna take a bong hit real quick. I'm gonna have to say that cookies win the day here on this one. Cookies it is. All right, so looking at our new bracket, we have pizza versus chips and Sour Patch Kids versus cookies. So, pizza versus chips, guys. Which one is winning here? Pizza versus chips. Get in your votes. Let me know which one you like better for munch time. Pizza. A lot of votes for pizza. 1 vote for chips and cookies. All right. All right. Here are the options again, just so everyone could see it. Pizza versus chips, Sour Patch Kids versus cookies. It looks like pizza is winning today. All right, pizza it is. Now, Sour Patch Kids versus cookies. Pizza. All right, 2 votes, 3 votes for cookies so far. I see cookies floating all over the screen. Let's go. Anyone else? Anyone else? Cookies. I'm gonna take 1 more hit so you could lock in. What? I didn't think Swedish had more votes. Chuck told me that he was voting for Sour Patch Kids. Right? Let me just double check this. Like, I know 1, 2, 3, and then Swedish had 1, 2. Yeah, 2 versus 3. Sour Patch Kids definitely won there. All right, everyone is taking cookies over Sour Patch Kids. All right, and then for the final one, guys, are we taking cookies or are we taking? Trying to do this. Pizza or cookies? Who's gonna win here? Pizza or the cookies? This is the final bracket. Whoa, 2 votes for pizza. 2 votes for cookies. Wow. This is a tie, everyone. 2 votes for cookies, 2 votes for pizza. Who is it going to be? Who's going to take home the prize? All right. Pizza. I think we got the last vote in. If anyone else wants to comment, throw their vote in. I am going to take a bong hit. That is some strong stuff. All right, everyone. It looks like pizza is the winner here today. Congratulations, everyone who voted for pizza the whole way. You are the winner of Munchie Madness. I hope you like this cannabis game today. This is a blast, and I really want to play it again with you soon. Alright, that is all for Munchie Madness for today. Hope you got your fill of cannabis, and now the stay in touch button is back up. So, of course, if you'd like to sign up for my free daily emails, make sure to click that button at arielcalista.com. Alright, now let's dive into some college basketball. I have a couple of games here that I'm looking at. One is pretty early. This is at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I'm looking at High Point versus Gardner-Webb. Right now, even though there is no money to really report on this game, I haven't seen a lot of money coming in, betting on any particular spread or total, but I like how High Point moved from -6.5 to -8.5. And this was on no money. This just moved out by the Vegas sportsbooks pushing this. And also, you know, according to my AI model as well, it does look like High Point, you know, is really like the better play here, statistically speaking. So I feel like between my AI model and what the sports books are doing, I like this. I like this play, and I will take High Point at -8.5. This is happening pretty soon. 9.5. Oh my god. That's crazy. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but holy cow. That's a big move. Alright, well, High Point it is, everyone. Lock that in, because that is happening at 2 o'clock, so just 2 hours from now. Wow, it is running a -10 or better. This might even be a play you maybe want to ladder out just a little bit, just like a smidge, a little bit of an action play, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, definitely a mispriced line. My AI model was able to pick up that High Point was, you know, better here. And, you know, just simply looking at this movement, it's still not a lot of money to report, but Vegas is moving this line because they knew opening this up at -6.5 probably was a mistake. Actually, no. Like, their AI doesn't really make mistakes, but sometimes things do look a little funky every once in a while. Okay. Now, the last game that I wanted to talk about today, oh yes, Chris, this is money. High Point, lock it in. Maybe even a small ladder position, a small ladder, not a huge ladder. Yeah, an error. Yeah, it does look like an error, like a little bit of a mispriced line, potentially. Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right. Like, some of these smaller games, like, let's be honest, like, the Vegas computers are working overtime right now, especially covering, like, 150 plus games today, and, you know, especially with some of the smaller schools where they might not just have, like, quite as much in-depth data as they would at like some of the bigger schools where a lot of bettors are piling on like very specific games like Alabama or Georgia, Ohio, like places like that. You know, some of these smaller spots, whoa, you laddered it to -11.5. Yeah, at some of these smaller spots, they just might not have all of the data. And if you think about it, like, they're using so many different forms of data. Like, they're taking into account all of the players on the team and their performance, and are using things like computer vision and historical data, and putting it into this huge predictive model that not only, like, are they building machine learning models, but they're also building, you know, like, neural networks and computer vision and all kinds of things with that are, I guess, like, under the umbrella of AI. Like, all of that is kind of under this umbrella that we like to call AI. Yeah, they did adjust that, that's for sure. So just get a little crazy when I'm when I'm high. What can you say, right? Well, I hope you're having all fun here. We have one more game to cover, and that is Santa Clara versus Washington State. This is a 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern game, and this total, I'm actually liking the under. I know I've done a lot of overs today, but this is one of those spots that open up at 157.5 and quickly moved to 154.5, only on level 1 money. So not a ton of money, but still some significant money. I definitely definitely am a little this is a good strain. Money maker, we're gonna be making some money. I can feel it. So I like that under. Those are all the games that I have for you today. This is really exciting. Let me just run down all of my picks so you can make sure to lock it in. Some of these games, like I said, you know, start later. Make sure the line doesn't fall apart. And now that you guys have been here watching this whole live stream, you know what to look for when they do fall apart. So starting in NHL, I am taking the over 6.5 in a Rangers Buffalo game at 5:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. I'm also taking the over in the Jets Blues game in the NBA. I am taking the Suns -5.5. And also in the Hornets Trailblazers game, I like the Charlotte money line right now. It is looking really good and a huge plus money play at +160. But this could be moving pretty soon. College basketball, I am loving High Point, sitting at -8.5. It's already moved to -9.5. Like I said, small ladder. Just bring out the mini ladder, bring out the little step stool, and I could say, like, if you're an action player, you might want to bring out a little step stool on this one. And finally, I like the under in the Santa Clara Washington State game. Those are all of my plays. Candy cane versus Moneymaker in the next cannabis segment. That will be iconic. Alright, I'm glad you made it, Super James. Yeah, the replay, it's been a lot of fun. I can't believe we've already been on for an hour, but we have definitely talked about a lot today. We've covered some very important topics in sports betting and just becoming a better sports handicapper in general. Plus, we just ran down all of the games so you can lock in all of them right now. First one starts at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern. That's in 2 hours. So make sure to lock that in. And also for some of the later ones that start at 10 p.m., you know, make sure to keep checking in on the line. Make sure it doesn't fall apart. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for yeah, those last 2 plays, definitely. Well, I'm so glad you enjoyed the show today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me bright and early, waking and baking with me this Saturday morning. I loved our little fun bracket game. I'm definitely going to bring this back for the beginning of March, probably like a March Wednesday stream. So make sure to check in for that as well. And as you know, I go live on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern every single week. I'm here Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern every single week, so twice a week you'll catch me. Get all of your plays right here on Sports Betting Illuminated. And make sure to catch my emails, the daily report. They go out every single day, 365 days a year. Yes, even on Christmas, you can get all of your important sports news, how the line movement is working, where some potential picks are, what line movements to watch, my personal favorite pick of the day, which I love when you guys write me and say, like, my picks of the day are always hitting and I'm making so much money and I'm becoming a better sports handicapper. I love hearing that from you guys. It seriously, like, brightens my day. It makes my heart like grow 10 times in size, and it's just so amazing. So please sign up for my free daily email just by clicking the stay in touch button at arielcalista.com. And of course, you can reply back to any of these emails anytime with any questions that you might have, or even just to say hi. I love talking to you. And while you're at it, at arielcalista.com, make sure to order Sports Betting Illuminated and get your signed copy. You'll be able to get your signed copy directly on my website, arielcalista.com. You won't be able to get your signed copy off of Amazon. Only at arielcalista.com. But hey, order it off Amazon, get your ebooks. I love that. Go for it. I did pull out the whiteboard. I'll be bringing it back soon. All right. See you guys later, and good luck on all of your wagers today. Bye, and I will see you back here again Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone.